good night, or sorry, good evening in Spain. Today we have a conference of Professor Li Qing from the University of Tongji. As most of you probably know, the School of Architecture of Tongji is one of the most famous School of Architecture in China. And Professor Li Qing has been a Deputy Director of the Housing Development Bureau of the Hongkou District. That is a relevant district in a central area of Shanghai. And he has also been an expert in urban planning for the Bank of Asian Development Bank. And also, well, he has made different academic exchange with different universities around the world. We can include it, for instance, the University of Bauhaus University in Germany and the University of Illinois in the USA. So that his conference will be more focused this time in social issues, how young people and middle-aged people can perceive the restoration of old districts. And well, the conference will last around 45 minutes. And after that, we will have like a short discussion that will be moderated by Professor Rosa Cervera from the University of Alcalá de Henares, and for me, José Manuel Almodóvar, professor at the University of Seville. So that, first of all, I want to thank Professor Li Qing for giving us this conference, and I want to thank the Hispanic Association of Chinese Studies for the organization of this event. So that's please, Professor Li Qing, if you want, you could start with your presentation.
My topic is about the kind of like third place in all the residential community in China and how it will affect the restoratory perception of young to middle-aged people. In fact, this kind of, for me, it's kind of a little bit kind of a research with my graduate student. And he just told me that it's better I also address some background of China, because some maybe professors don't know much about China, so I will address a little bit. So for the whole 45 minutes, I will address quickly about the evolution of kind of older residential community in China, and then secondly about the spontaneous renovation of the older residential community in Xiamen and other cities, and it's a little bit like Shanghai. And also the concepts of the third place and the restoratory perception. And the fourth one is the impact of the literature, this third place in the older residential community, and its influence on the young guys' restoratory perception. So maybe someone know China, someone else not so much. In China, in fact, between 1980, China is always in some disorder or civil war, Sino-British War and the Sino-Japan War, and also kind of a collapse of last Qing dynasty. A lot of war, especially about the National Party and the Communist Party, and maybe someone know that this civil war after Second World War. And finally, Nationalist Party was defeated, so it retreated to Taiwan, and the Communist Party controlled the mainland. So this is a basic background. And then because of this unstable long time in China, so China faced a lot of issues after 1949, because after 1949 sometimes we say it's a liberation period. So for example, this huge issue about the housing, so massive housing shortage and substandard housing before 1949. And you can see as this table that this is in Guangzhou in southern China. So the average living space per capita is only 5.22 square meters, so very low. In Shanghai, it's almost the same. It's 322. In Shanghai, it's almost the same, 339 square meter per person for the living space. So we can see there's a huge, tremendous crisis for the housing issue. And if you see this map and the right pictures, you can see how many 1 million population who live in the slum. And this slum is located just around the settle area. So settle area is kind of French, international foreign countries occupied land. And so surrounding this researching settlement, this dot is black for slum, and so it accounts for nearly 1/5 population. So that means huge people live in poor condition, also in slum. And some people live a little bit bad, but live in Lilong. Nowadays, Lilong is also kind of Shanghai character. But if you see some Lilong nowadays, even nowadays in Shanghai, you can still see them. But of course, the density not so high. It has been dropped for quite a long time. And so for one building, normally just for one family. But in this kind of some Lilong, this called 72 households living in one house. This means this one house is townhouse. So townhouse maybe have 5 or 7 units. That means for each unit, each townhouse, it account for like around 10 or so households. And nowadays, even in Shanghai, we can still find this this scenery. That means you go to Lilong, some people on the ground floor, there should be like a kitchen, toilet, living room, and also the courtyard. But finally, on the ground, 4 families live in the ground floor, and the second one is also the same. So even this section picture looks extreme. Many people live in the same building. In fact, it's only for one family now. The many family live in the same building, but in fact, in Shanghai, the real density can be higher than this one. So because of this reason, after 1949, especially in 1951, then it started kind of new construction. So Shanghai and China built the worker village. Sometimes we say people's new village, and also we can call it the worker village. So this is in Shanghai Chaoyang district, and it's called Chaoyang New Village, and it's the first worker village in China. And then across China, there's hundreds and thousands worker villages there, and also this kind of village have some identity of socialism. So it can call the socialist residential compound. And so this is the housing. Nowadays we call older housing, but at that time it's quite a new housing, and many workers like it very much. So if you see the plan, you will see that it's maybe I'm not sure. Maybe you are not familiar about that, because this space resource is too limited. So the government built this housing, try to concern more workers or more worker families. So if you see the first floor, we can see this kitchen, toilet, two kitchen. So why 2 kitchen? Because for each family, when they have bedroom, one family, one bedroom, maybe one family, two bedrooms, but they don't have the independent toilet and kitchen. So they need to share this kitchen. So not only the first floor families, also the second floor we find that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 families, and there's one storage. Then they need to go down to go to the kitchen and the toilet. So this is kind of like a normal phenomenon in China before the year of 2000. So many families live in this building and they don't fear some inconvenience or some different from others because many people live in this kind of building. But of course, from now we say it's really convenient because one family only occupy only one bedroom. There's no living room, no other functions for storage. It's really convenient. And nowadays, for nowadays people, so people want to change it. Nowadays, nowadays, in fact, the build in front of the building, the build another extend the space, try to install toilet and kitchen for each family, for each bedroom. So in that way, at least they will have kind of full facility for every family. And this is that time, people feel very happy. You can see they take the picture. We say from proletariat to the master of the country, because the workers become the master of country due to the socialism. And in fact, this area, in fact, this Chaoyang area is also was slum. Then after the 1950s, then it become demolished, cleaned the slum and built this new village. And so that's why the people moved from the slum to this modern housing. They feel so happy, they enjoy the leisure time and also because of this, they also develop more self-sufficient housing compound. So in China, maybe someone know that this called danwei society. That means in the danwei, each danwei they will be have, for example, in Tongji University. So besides the education facilities, there must be have dormitory for students, but they also needed to have the housing for all the staff, faculty. And we have the canteen, we have shopping store, we have some club, so a lot of things like this. This is kind of hospital in Beijing, but in almost in every place. So this is kind of unique scenery in the world because in China, yeah, the China cities in China city it just divided into different cells, and each cell will have the full function like a small town or small city. So but for the whole city, it's kind of high fragmented. And then low mobility for members because most members just work there, living there, and enjoy all the facilities. The advantage is that almost everybody know each other because they always stay together, but they have less knowledge about the neighbors. This also kind of issue. So after 1980, the government abandoned this unit system, danwei system. So if we see some code from the government tried to make most of the land use and also the building material. So during that time, China quite in a poor condition, and also blocked by the world, led by the USA. And you can see this standardizing design for parliament. the floor area for one family, one household is quite small, 27.5 in 1960s, 34 point, and also 1970s, 42. Yeah, it grew a little bit, but still slow. In China, when we say the floor area, this is the architecture area. So include all the wall and all the step care and all corridor, public corridor. So all the public space and also as wall include. So if we will calculate the left living space is generally you are divided by 0.75 or 78. So if we multiply this to 35 square meters, you can see in fact even for 42, in fact you only have around 30 square meters for whole one family, and account maybe include a bedroom, and sometimes they have the living room, small living room. For some, maybe they have their individual toilet and the kitchen. So this kind of housing is the issue nowadays China need to face, and also renovated it. So that is a big topic. I have some activity about that, but that is not today's topic. I will quickly go to so my focus topic. So in 1980, China started this reform and opening policy, and so Chinese Chairman Deng Xiaoping visited the USA, and then get get the cooperation from the USA. So China also started this capitalist experiment approach, try to combine the socialism and also capitalism together. So in 1980s, the Communist Party published this document, outline of the report of the National Capital Construction Conference, formally proposed to employ the housing commercialization policy. So that means in the past, between 1950s and 1980s, the housing is the social welfare. So every family, everyone should get someone, even that very small, but everyone can get some kind of housing. So this social welfare for everyone. In 1980, then the government thinks that it can allow private building, private buying, and private ownership of their own household, their own house. So during 1980, almost 90% of the housing are public owned. But today, almost 90, maybe about 90% of housing are private owned. So it changed sharply from the 90% of the housing belong to the government. Nowadays, 90% housing belong owned by the private household. So it totally changed but this is a little bit like Eastern Europe. I think in Eastern Europe, in Romania and some Eastern Europe country, they have a similar situation. So that's transition area from 1980 to 1998. In 1998, because it's Asia, East Asia economic crisis, the central government tried to solve this issue. So they issued the new document called Further Deepening the Reform of Urban Housing System and Accelerating Housing Construction. So that's a huge change, because this is the one that the government tried to end the socialist system, social welfare housing system. So for faculty who entered the Tongji University before 1998, they can get free housing. But after 1998, they have to buy from the market. So that's huge change for China's socialist system. And of course, during 1998 and even the year of 2000, the housing price in fact is quite cheap. But for most of Chinese, the salary is low. Salary can only cover their living expense, like the food. Most of spend on food and some on clothes. So they could not set aside extra money for buying the housing. So in that way, some guy who do some business, or maybe some guy have some relationship with foreign country, or like to Chinese Taiwan or Hong Kong or Macau, then they can start to buy the house. If you see the right picture, this is new housing after built during the year of 2000, 2002 or 2005. So it also demolished a slum, a big slum, and built this high skyscraper. And this is FAI is very high. It's accounted for like over 4 FAR. So floor area reached very, very high. And in fact, some Europeans, maybe people see this is terrible and ugly. And one of my French students who double degree and also choose this project for his master study. And then he found, in fact, after he made some interview with Chinese guys, he found that many people, many residents who live in this high dense community feel very satisfied. And because in fact, even though the building looks high, but the green space is also large. Anyway, so this is China launched this 3-level urban housing supply systems. So for the lowest income family, they will live in the rent house provided by the government. But for others, they can purchase economical comfort housing, and they also maybe through the market to buy housing from the market. But for many family need they could not afford by this economic comfort housing, or maybe they could not find the quota because the economic comfort housing is limited. Anyway, so most of families started to buy the housing from the market. So if you see this built area, you can see it increased quickly from 1959 to 1986 to the year of 2000 to the year of 2017. You can see the built area expanded significantly, and also planned area increased like 5 times. So it's this is also a kind of underlying reason for China's expansion. Maybe you can get below a little bit, but at the same time, China's economy also developed quickly, developing. So this is a floor area of completed housing. Also, the average floor area per capita. This is for this is what I say like this architecture floor building. So include all the passage wall and also corridor. But if you see that in 1980, it's only per capita has only like near 6 square meter housing, but now they are over 38 square meters per capita. So you can see it increased a lot for the city, for the people who live in city. But at the same time, hundreds million population also flow for the migrant from the rural area to the city. So in that way, you can see how China developed fast in the built area. So if you take the example of Shanghai, so you can see in 1959, it's only account for 11 square kilometers, and nowadays is how many? 24,000 18 square kilometers. So you can see this Shanghai is one case. In China, in my hometown is only was only 20,000 population. Nowadays it's 500,000 population. So you can see my hometown is in the mid area in China. And so you can also, this is kind of overlap this expansion. And so interesting that the older worker compound who was in the suburb area, that nowadays are mostly in the downtown area, because nowadays the building environment, the built area, it already expanded to the suburb area, and it take a lot of green space, farmland, and even sometimes the forest. So nowadays, especially in 1917 China, think we could not do this expanding anymore, because they'll take the precious green space and the farmland. So it start the new development mode from sprawling to renovation or renewal, urban renewal. So this at the same time, the price also grows sharply, and we are not go to the detail, but this is the background. So in China, we also have this kind of appearance that we build many tall buildings, skyscraper. But in the center, you see this is called village in city, because in the past this village located in the rural area, and then the built area expanded to encompass these villages. So it became the village in city, and the villages also find the chance to provide affordable housing that for migrants. For example, in the city of Shenzhen, the population is over 10 million population. Now the government could not build enough affordable housing for this 10 million population. So over 40% of people who live in the village in city. So the villages just demolished their one story and two-story buildings, and build this like some 5 or 6 stories, and in extreme density. And in some extreme case, it can build like 11 stories without elevator, because they can rent the house in quite cheap price. So still welcome by the migrants. So anyway, so from 2015, 2016, every year, the central government also issue some documents, try to contain the sprawling, at the same time try to renew the city and make the city more beautiful, livable, and dynamic. So this is a core older residential renewal or renovation. And so it's kind of actions across the whole China. But of course, they have different approach. For this is also housing, but this is historical heritage. So it was preserved, and the renovation is quite good. And they keep the original facade. So it in fact become a tourist attraction. And of course, there are also some building like that, they kind of dilapidated, and they got interior and outside interior. So the government carried out the demolition for this work village. What kind of work village? Built during 1950s or to 1970s, and so demolish and built this building. So all the guys who lived here now, they can move into the new building. It's quite fashion, not fashion anyway, quite modern housing with the new facilities, and they can get a larger space for free, almost for free. So this will improve their living condition. But it depends, because the government spend tremendous money to help this renewal. They also try to attract the private market, private capital to in this innovation. And for some, in some places, the government demolish, relocate some building and build a little bit higher buildings like this one, and also transfer this housing to the commercial and the public facility space. So this is in that way they provide more facilities for the work village. And even though we mentioned this work unit, but after the year of the 2000, most of the public facilities, the housing accommodated the public facilities had been changed to private function, private use. So that means after the year of 2000, workers lost some function, a public service function. So after 2015, the government started again to build a more commercial, also public space for normal workers, normal citizens. So this is the kind of line. So we can still see some older housing, and it had been renovated from the facade, but interior maybe I'm not sure. But at least they demolished some building and built this public playground, so make people enjoyable. But it depends, because in Shanghai, in China, there are so many older residential compounds. The government maybe could not spend enough money to change it. So normally they help to build to make this renovation of the building facade, but not to change the interior space, and also now to install the necessary public facilities. So in many places, also in Shanghai, it occurred spontaneous renovation of the older residential compound. And so this is in Xiamen. I also visited with my student. We can see this. If you see this this building, in fact, is housing. It was housing in the past, and this yeah. So you can see the second floor still people living inside, but on the ground floor, and it started this spontaneous renovation. That means on the ground floor, the owner who had on the ground floor housing rented it to outsider, and maybe also some people who live in this building, and then changed it to some coffee or some other shops, interactive shop, like handcraft, some skill training shop, so they can enjoy it together. And because it's spontaneous, it's not it was not get it was not it doesn't get the permission from the government, and they just also occupy some outside space. So it's very strange things. But so it's kind of like if you if you think about the government code, this renovation, this shift function is illegal, because it's not get the permission from the government. But I also encourage my student to explore the meaning of this spontaneous change, why it occurred, and what's the meaning for this shift. And so we find a kind of residential compound is in the middle of the city. So the seaside area is the tourist area, but in the central area is more local people. And so this in fact over 5 million people who live in this in the city. But for outside, it's not the population is less. It only account for like less 17 hectares and less 40,000 population. And so you can see this definitely typical worker unit layout. And so we made this analysis about the evolution of this spontaneous place in the community. So it started in phase 1. It started in 2014. Before 2014, there's no such spontaneous shop, just some shops located along the front street. And then from 2014, some first coffee shop occurred in this place, and gradually it became more and more. And in phase 3, in the year of 2018, then the shops grow rapidly. And these places are deeply loved by residents due to their accessibility, tranquility, creativity, and local cultural experiences. So, even though this kind of boring modernism building area, but after this shifting, you can see quite a maybe like a kind of a Europe bar become kind of lively. Young and middle-aged people become the independent business operator. The operators mostly choose to live in the community and become part of the community residents. That means some operators are migrant and they come here and they're like over many anyway. Many shops occurred in this area, but still it's not. It's some it not cause the chaos or disorder for the community. In fact, it developed high level of trust between the operators and local communities. So because it also has multifunctional in this space, local, especially for young guys. Because before why this coffee bar come to the community? Because before young guys have no way to go. Because in this community there's no such facility to serve the young people and the middle-aged people. So finally, there's some spontaneous function change, and so anyway, there's a lot of advantages for this space, and even though it's kind of random, it occupies some pedestrian road and also courtyard, and also you can see the car parking just next to the people who stay there, but they can coexist there, and they get a lot of some event also activities, because they also the operators to launch some scene events like reading novel and also play some theater, and also have some discussing about the society or about how to raise kids, or maybe how to address topic of single people who do not want to get married. So a lot of interesting things occurred there. And so for one shop, they just print this slogan in their in front of this shop, and also on online also print this online. So in Chinese, if you translate literally, it means a store that produces a beautiful relationship. So it's totally bottom up, grassrooted kind of like a movement. So make it people feel so good. So for this shop, the owner launched this a chair rental event. So all the chairs in the store were leased by nearby residents. Every month, residents who lent chairs can get a free cup of coffee, and which we immediately brought the store closer to the community resident. And so there's a lot of interesting happening in this place. And a guy who's migrant, he mentioned that yeah, he worked with he can discover some interesting things. So he stayed here and operated a kind of store, and he mapped a lot of interesting stuff in the community. So in the past, quite a boring place, allow it to become a really interesting place. I think my time is limited, so I just maybe go through quickly. So then I will do this relationship between the third place and the restoratory perception. So maybe someone knows this about the third place concept. It is introduced by Oldenburg in USA, and because the home is the first place, working place, learning place, second place. Third place is something for informal public gathering. And so it have a lot of function, health, elevating effects on individual, vulnerable to social isolation. A lot of good function for this third place. And Oldenburg listed some 8 characteristics for third place, like a neutral setting, acting as level-less, sociable, accessible and accommodating, and regular customers. No proprietary setting, playful, homes away from home. And the attention restoration is also important, especially for young guys, because nowadays in China, many young guys are in high pressure. So they have, many of them has this sense of stress, depression. Also, many of them, not quite a number of the committed suicide. So they, in fact, lead to this the third place, because third place can provide attention restoration. So in that way, they can recover from the bad tempo, bad emotion. So when mental fatigue, people can make mistake like concentration and be irritable or lost self-control. But if they come this maybe third place, they can get recover from this mental fatigue. And so we have some factors to measure this feature of attention restoration theory. And I will not go detail, just to maybe go quickly. Sorry about that. The third place of the residential community affects the respiratory perception of the middle age and the young age. So first, we try to get some sense from the locals, from their online some site. So get the text and evaluate. And so most of the comment from the online is that for this shops is called comfortable, happy, enjoy, treasure daily life, decoration style experience. No negative perception words were found. And so we try to measure this relation about this individual variables, this special features of the third place, and also dependent variables, levels of restoratory perception. And then we have the mediation variable, levels of neighborhood interaction. And then we maybe calculate the factors. We have the questionnaire over 120 and also include these dependent variables and also mediating variables. And we do this interview and we get data. So very amazing that finding that even though maybe there's some space according to Oldenburg, because some coffee bar in the commercial compound, also a coffee bar along the street. This is also the third place according to definition. But the stores or the shops in the community, in fact, got quite a high scores. So the max score is 7. So if you see this more green is the community, and then the light green, the thick blue is in the community. The light blue is in shops, like bars, coffee bars along the street, and the yellow is the compound in the commercial complex. But we always can see this big difference, and no matter is the attractive and the third place identity, also the perception, respiratory perception. So we have also this structural equation model analysis. I will not go detail because if you see some connection with this respiratory perception, so anyway, this huge coherence. So maybe I just jump to the conclusion, and yes, yeah, I think my time. So the modernist spatial residential space has the potential for change, because modern is not normally boring, but in fact you can also alter monotonous appearance or the reshaping its identity, and then spontaneous transformation is a reshaping mechanism for this modernist residential compound. And consumption, in fact, has some place made by spontaneous transformation can be third place for leisure worker gathering, and compared to the third place along the street, and also in the complex, the third place within the residential area can get a high level of respiratory perception for middle-aged and the young group. And the level of neighborhood interaction play significant mediating role in the influence of third place and the respiratory perception. But in China, we still face legal and illegal issues. So yeah, this kind of open question for Chinese administration. So you may sorry. So that's my presentation. Thanks
Okay.
for your attention.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Qing. It's more or less on time, so don't worry. So thank you for your informative and interesting presentation, and also very interesting from an European perspective, because we have a totally different urban transformation dynamic in Europe. So all the things you have talked about are really interesting and surprising from the Western perspective. So I have a couple of questions, but I don't know if Professor Rosa want to make a question, or if somebody or some of the attendees want to ask any question to Professor Qing, or I don't know, Rosa, you want to?
Okay, I can say something shortly because you have
Mhm.
questions coming from the audience. So first, congratulations. This is really very, very interesting. The whole path you have been doing from the former times when the people used to live in a very small houses, collective houses. In fact, Western cities are different, but we have this, some of the problems are really common, no? And we have moved from very, we can say, modest or poor houses to better living conditions, living standards conditions. But we have increased as well isolation, no? People, isolated people, this sense of community we have lost. And in this case, the third places where people in a very spontaneous and participative way try to renew the city and the living spaces, find a place for the community. I think the research you have done is really very, very interesting, no? And it's a thing that we must think about it as well in the Western cities, no? And where is the limit because when these kind of third places are very well done, we can say, are richer, then tourists come and the tourists in some way displace the people that live around in the neighborhood. So always is a very difficult balance, we can say. Where is the limit to be a place for the citizens or a place for other people that come from other places to enjoy this area? So it's a very interesting. So congratulations. And well, I prefer just to give the floor to the others if you have some questions coming from the audience. José Manuel?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody from some of the attendees want to ask a question. If not,
if
I
not,
would
we
like to.
can. Yes, okay. Well, this is my feeling, no, about your well, we have just, I can keep going a bit more. We have as well a lot of neighborhoods built in the 60s, the 70s, after even the 50s, after our civil war, that now they are really very poor houses in not very nice places because were done when Spain was really in a complicated moment without money. And this kind of neighborhoods need a renewal, really. And it's very interesting where or where is the limit where the government must proceed and where the citizens must proceed. This is the question, no? I would like to know a bit more about this. Okay.
Okay, thank you, thanks, Maria, Professor Maria, because for your amazing comment. So yeah, I learned from your comment. So I learned that you say different countries have some similar story. Interesting. And sorry, I sit outside of the downtown, so it's my face dark. And so the government they do have some fund to try to renovate this living space because poor people living there and still there are the people. So they also needed to have some wealth sharing as the economic growth. So the government do made something that if you see this picture, the up picture and the middle picture, in fact, the government already made some renovation. So the government just made the renovation for the pavement, also facade of the building. But most of the housing now is private owned. So it's very hard for government to negotiate with every household to make a huge change. So in fact, there's like 20 modes, different types for the renovation, maybe over 20. So even in Shanghai, in Xiamen, every city have many different types. Anyway, the government also do set aside some fund every year, try to help the locals. but compare the huge population, huge this older compound, this fund can only do very limited thing that improve the infrastructure normally. So, but they could not do more about the function. So that's occurring in China, that there's some kind of spontaneous change made by citizens themselves, and shift this residential function to some public function, public service, and make this neighborhood become lively and even become, like you say, the tourist attraction. Because nowadays, in the past, this is a really boring place. But after the many car, this is small bars, and it is so attractive, like home, away home. So some tourists get the picture from the online, and then try to come to community. Community is more family oriented, family or sense. So that's also good for the bar, because when they have more customers, they can survive better, and also more and more some other shops serve the locals will occur. So if you see these two pictures, this is shops in the village, and the last one, the lower one is the bar along the street. So along the street, maybe it's some car transportation, pollution. So not so lively when people stay in the community inside their residential compound. Because normally business is always related to the location. So the bar shops along the street, of course, definitely have a better location, better accessibility. But people prefer the shops to inside the compound. So it's very funny, very interesting thing. And so finally, I think this the two driving force shape this old neighborhood. From the government, they provide some fund to for this transformation of infrastructure, and the locals do this, also participate in this transformation of their own community with their own force, with their own energy. So that's good. But so it depends, because this shifting, this function transformation is illegal. The government say, okay, you do it, you do it. They're not prohibited. So it's just kind of funny thing. Maybe the legal, the code needed to change in the future.
Yes, it is important to be flexible. I mean, not be too strictly legal. And what I love is the chair rental. This is really wonderful, no? You can get back a coffee, right? It's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Rosa, for your comments. Well, I would like to say some of my feelings about this question. Well, I think that we can find different experience in different parts of the world, and also we can learn from one experience to others. But the case of China have some inputs, some specific inputs that are quite different, and also the scale of urban transformation and social transformation also is unique. It's something that is not, you cannot find something equal in other part of the world. No? From my perspective, in the traditional Chinese city, there was a lot of people live a lot the open spaces and socialize a lot in the outside. So in this very atonish process of urban transformation, also the society has changed a lot. So people have to adapt to a very, very different situation. Also because many people come from the rural areas or for other areas to new one. So that there are a lot of foreigners or migrants that need to live again with people that didn't know before. So that there is also a interesting or even dramatic or social issues related with this process of urban transformation. So that sometimes when, from my perspective, when architects do not wear his work, people spontaneously try to solve the problem that the architects have not solved. No, so from my perspective, this is an interesting way to see how people try to live, or again, like they lived in the past, socializing more in the urban space, with more interaction with others and so on. So my worry is if I think that we can learn about what people do in the open space in order to make proposals in the future. And also, I would like to ask you if you can provide more information if there is any kind of social problems in terms of the people, of the immigrants that need to adapt to a new way of life and also to interact with new people. How Chinese people have feel or have been adapted to this atomic process of transformation, not only urban transformation, but also social transformation. What is your opinion about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, just a big question because
Yeah, it's a
in
big
China,
question, but just
like
to highlight some issues.
yeah,
Because for
I
me, it's very
think
surprising, no? I know people that, for
yeah.
instance, when I was in Tongji, one of my partners told me that
Uh-huh.
she made a PhD in Germany, and when she came back, his small village is now a very big city. So his hometown has almost disappeared. So it's a situation that is not, from my point of view, it's a little bit hard. So could
Yeah,
you say some comments, or what
yeah,
is your
it's
feeling about that?
it's a big topic.
Mhm.
In 1980, I think China's urbanization rate is around less than 30%. Nowadays, it's over near 60%. So that means 1.4 billion population. Let me see. That means over 400 million population, over 400 million population moved from rural area to the city. So you see so many, so huge people. It's really a big question. So, in many millionaire also are rural villages. So rural villages they came to city, they become the millionaire, billionaire. Yeah, become they make a fortune in the city. And someone also adapted to the city system because in the past, China, we have this household registration system because the food is very limited. So the government needed to control the urban population. Otherwise, for example, anyway, this is a long story. But anyway, so let me come back to the question. I think at least more than half of the migrants who migrated from the rural to the city, they already adapted to the city life, become the citizens, and they enjoy their daily life. They also established their relation with the locals, and they become the local. As thinking now, they become after like 3 decades, then become the locals. And but there are also some really bottom class, lowest class people who migrate to the city that could not make a lot of money. But it depends. Many of them already made some money, but they could not afford to buy a housing in the city. So they build their housing in their hometown, for the rural one. They build housing in the hometown. Why? They think after they retired, they prefer to return to their rural hometown because the landscape is more beautiful, the air is more beautiful. They also have other maybe close relations with the villages together. And also, of course, like what you said, the heritage, for some small town, the historical heritage also face some transformation. It depends. So some heritage, like what I showed, one building, it become a tourist attraction. but also in Shanghai, we many because in 1950s, like 5 million population, 4 million population live in Lilong, 1 million population live in slum. So that means most of people live in different kind of Lilong. But nowadays, I think most of Lilong had been destroyed, have been cleaned away for building the new skyscraper or high-rise building. So in that way, it kind of lost the city identity, city culture heritage. But anyway, it's kind of pretty, but of course, at the same time, the Shanghai still have many Lilong, still many Lilong. So you can still get the atmosphere of the Lilong, different types of Lilong. But in that way, some place also lost its identity. So I think it's a really complicated issue. On the social level, I think, for example, in Shanghai, the local Shanghainese and also new migrants from the rural area, normally they can stay together. And because Shanghainese become elderly people in the downtown area, so young people buy the flash modern housing, or elderly people still live in the old Lilong. And also migrants who are young migrated to the Lilong because the rent is cheaper. So migrants are young, and the local Shanghainese are old. So they become kind of how to say, a kind of sensitive relation because they need to help each other. Because young people have the children, and sometimes they need the elderly people, local, to take care of the children. And for the elderly, sometimes they need to move some stuff is very which is very heavy. They need the young people to help them, and at the same time they have some like the lamp is broken, or maybe the air conditioning is broken, or maybe some sudden accident. Then in that way, they need the young guys to help them to fix it.
Yeah.
So in many places, they come like a kind of coexisting community.
Yeah, very strange kind of new situation.
Yeah, I also learned that some Shanghainese can speak in the past they speak the Shanghai accent, Shanghai language accent. In fact, I studied in Shanghai for more than 30 years. I could not understand Shanghai accent, Shanghai language.
Yeah.
And then some elderly guy just launching like kind of club to teach the migrants how to speak the Shanghainese language, the Shanghai accent. So kind of some things, some. So it depends. But maybe in some places, maybe they fight against each other. But this is less instance. But normally they stay together very well. They need each other.
Okay. Okay, thank you for providing us with this social perspective, which I'm really interesting. Okay, thank you so much. So that I think that we don't have a lot of more time, so I don't know if anybody want to ask any question, or I don't know. If not, maybe we can just finish the presentation, the session. So that, well, thank you so much, Professor Qing, for your time and for giving us this very interesting presentation. And also Professor Rosa Cervera for providing us with his feeling and impressions about this topic. So that, well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your excellent presentation. Okay, and information. Thank you.
I also really enjoying it. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
so welcome
to
Shanghai, to China. You can see the real reality.
Yes,
and I will treat you, Mario. Yeah.
Next trip, I will go. Yes.
Okay, great. Just send a message to me. Also, Jules.
Of course.
Okay,
yeah.
We will see you again. Yeah. Okay. So see you again. Keep in touch. Keep in touch, Professor Qing.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.